Morning, everybody. Christmas Eve. Oh, it's a big day tomorrow, isn't it, eh? Chuck into that big huge turkey, and I'm having turkey and beef. I'm on call out, so this morning I'm exchanging vehicles. So this is why I'm out at the minute. Anyway, I've come on here to answer a few questions like I say I would do, and then I'm going to tell you something. So the first question I'll have to ask you is D. Jackson put this morning. He's put, "You are jealous of Bernard, matey, because he's a proper man and he was not a gopher like you, and you should stop playing the victim." Mr. Jackson, let me tell you this, I'm not jealous of Bernard at all. Okay, I'm not on here to put him down. He's got his life to get on with. I've got my life. He tells his stories. I tell my stories. But please believe me when I say I am not jealous of Bernard and I'm not playing the victim. Okay, so that's your answer, Mr. Jackson. Ronnie, he's put, "The moral of the story is you were both wrong uns." You're entitled to opinion, Ronnie. If Craig was alive now and the others, I don't think you'd be saying to him he was a wrong un. Now you could come back and say, "Oh, I would. We can all say things when we're on the other side of a computer, can't we?" But yeah, well, that's your opinion. If you believe we are wrong uns, that's up to you. Someone's put, "Colton is running scared." No, I don't think Colton is. Colton wants an easy life now. He's got his family around him. He's just lost his dad, and you know he's in a good place. We're having the family around him, but he's in a bad place, losing someone that was, you know, his best mate. So I wish Colton all the best for 25, and I wish Bernard all the best for 25. You know, so I'm not on here to go back to my old ways of tit-tat, fucking calling each other anymore. Let's just get on with the stories. And if people like me, they like me. If they don't like me, they don't like me. And there's a majority that don't. I'm not bothered. Sticks and stones is an old saying, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, and then we got Timmy. Timmy says, "Turkey flip. Please tell me a bit more about turkey flip, sir. I know you put it on twice. I don't really understand it. But if you tell me, then I will answer it as good as I can." And then we have Kevin. Now, Kevin's come on and put a message. "Tell the truth about Chelmsford Prison, you grass." Well, all I can presume is Kevin was one of the kitchen lads. So I will tell you the truth about Chelmsford Prison. Okay, I'm ashamed of it, and that's why I've never really come out of it. So I was sentenced in 93 at Chelmsford Crown Court to 2 years in prison for fraud and deception and dishonesty. I was sentenced to 2 years. I went to Chelmsford Prison. I went on to the wing, and the next day I had to go in front of the governor for my allocation. While I was there, the governor offered me a job in Chelmsford Prison. Would I like to stay in Chelmsford? I said yes, because it was easy for visits from my friends and that lot. So I did. I got a job in the kitchen. I was one of the lucky ones. Now, Chelmsford Prison is an allocation prison, a remand prison, and there's a majority of people that stay there and work like reception. Most of them are serving time and stay there. Some are on remand there. But I got a job in the kitchen. There was about 12 lads. We had the bottom landing next to the kitchen, away from the main wing. Okay. The gym orderly, he was normally someone that's serving time and got a job. Now, it wasn't long timers, it was, you know, reasonable time. So yeah, I got a job in the kitchen. I was in there about 3 months. Then I got a visit from my brother Craig. I went to see him at the visiting room, and he told me, well, he asked me, I shouldn't say told, it's a bit wrong to say it. He asked me if I would take the can for Michael, and I told him I wouldn't. And that's straight. I said I'd do all my best to help him, but I would not take the can for it. I was doing a 2 year stretch, actually doing a year out of 2 years, and I didn't want to get another 4 or 5 on top for the cannabis. So I told him no. Now, there was a lad in the visiting room, he might be on here, I don't know, can clarify this. He had an argument with Craig in the visiting room, and Craig more or less told him to fuck off. It was over something. I think Craig gave him a slap some time ago or something, I don't know. So anyway, I was in the kitchen. I got into the bakery section, so I had a good, decent job. About 3 or 4 weeks later, Michael was due in court, so I was due up in court as a witness for Michael. Why on the wing? Just before a couple of days before I went to court, I was got a visit from an officer saying I had a solicitor's visit to follow him. So I did. I went to a room, like a bit of a stores room, to be honest with you. And in the room was Gary Duckrell, the serving officer in the drug squad, and I think the other one was Jack Bowler. I sat in the room and they told me not, they understand I was going to court for Michael as a witness and not to do anything silly as they could make it hard for me. Okay, that was more or less what it was about. Now, Gary is still a serving officer quite high up in the drug squad. He knows I'm telling the truth, because if I was not telling the truth, I would have been arrested for making false allegations. Now, he knows everything. He knows about the phone call with the guns and everything. And I just wish he would come forward and say, yes, or go to the ex-police officer that's trying to get Jack and Mickey sorted. Tell him. Tell David and Albert the truth. That's all you got to do. It's done. I can't turn back the clock. I did what I did. Right. And then we have another one saying, do I believe Jesse's statement that he took the killer to the scene? I don't know. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. Everyone's making an opinion. Everyone's saying they know the truth. Let them get on with it. End of the day, I don't think we'll ever find the truth. Now, someone from Ireland's telling me their side of the story, and I believe them. I've known them for a while. So everyone's got a story. Now, I'm not going to discredit people. Hopefully people don't discredit me. But, if he's telling the truth, he's telling the truth. And if he is, then he should be done for conspiracy to murder. If he's still around, shouldn't he, really? Because if he was part of it. So he's putting his neck on the line. But everyone, like I say, everyone picks at things and thinks that's wrong, you know what I mean? So everyone's entitled to an opinion. And do we think we'll get the truth? No, I don't, because deep down, the Essex police are that fucking far in deep in it, you're never going to get the truth out of it. Do I think Mickey will get out of prison? I hope he does. I really do, with my heart. But a part of me thinks he won't. But we'll wait and see, because, strange things happen in life. And he should be let out. With me, I don't believe he actually pulled the trigger. I believe he was round that area for reasons of his own. I'm not going to say anymore who I think, who I know it is, or whatever, and why they were down the lane, because I'm not going to get myself in any more trouble. I have had a few little remarks put to me. Talking lips sink ships sort of thing. So I'm going to come away from the actual killing side of it. It will come out one day why they were down the lane and who took them down the lane. That will come out, but for me, I'm just staying away from it. So then I had a message from Kevin. Now, he doesn't give his last name. That's up to him. He just says, message Brian, tell the truth about Chelmsford, you fucking grass. Right. So I've never really told this. Like, I didn't ever tell anyone about me phoning the police with the gun when Craig put it in my face. But yeah, okay, I'll tell the truth about prison, because I've got the funny feeling Kevin will open his gob and start putting things online. So I think it's best if it comes from me. So anyway, I was in the kitchen, the bakery section. I went to court, done what I did for my brother. I was taken there. I was asked questions by prosecution, like, was the vehicle mine? Yes, it was mine. Was the cannabis mine? No, the cannabis wasn't mine. Then defence got on asking me questions. How long he had the vehicle, Brian? 2 to 3 weeks. prior to Michael taking it. Did you clean the vehicle out on a regular basis? No, we never clean the vehicle out. Is the cannabis yours? No, the cannabis is not mine. Okay. Now, when I got the phone call from Craig to Michael to get the vehicle, I had no idea where Michael was going. I don't care what anyone says. The certain person keeps saying I did. I didn't. He come round that morning, he took the car. Now, we know he went to Canvey Island, okay, because it's in the statements. Now, he met one of the brothers, picked up some cannabis and took it to Kent and got pulled, okay. There was no surveillance in a house across the road watching. That is just a load of fucking bollocks, all right. No one knew what was going down. It was a spare at the moment. He come and got the car, so I didn't know where he was going. If I did, and I grasped him, I stick my hands out like I did about the gun, okay? I have to live with what I've done, and that's one of the things. So anyway, I went to court, done my bit for Michael, what I could do. I would not admit to the drugs. I was put that down the cell, taken back to Chelmsford at the end of the day. Michael went back to court the next day and got sentenced. He went to Chelmsford prison and he got a job in the kitchen with me. He shared the cell with me. Michael was very quiet when he came in the cell. I wouldn't say he blamed me for anything. We got on, we talked, you know what I mean? But Michael was a gullible person. He was very, very quiet. He's like me. He wasn't a fighter. You with me? He wasn't big-headed. He was very quiet. He had a lovely girlfriend called Penny that thought the world of him. And he shouldn't have been there, really. He should have just got, I don't know, probation, suspended sentence or something. Michael's not a villain, okay? He's got a happy life now. He's got some children and he's moved on with his life. So anyway, we was in Chelmsford, in the kitchen. We get up in the morning, go and do the breakfast for the inmates. I go on the bakery section, and then we go back dinner time, locked up for an hour, then go back and do the evening meal after we've done the breakfast and dinner. Okay, so I've come out the cell one day, and on the back wall was a big board, and on the board it had "Brian, you fucking grass." Okay, so I looked at it straight away and I panicked. I didn't know who put it there or what, so I asked the inmates in the kitchen, did they write it there? A bit angry. I was a bit angry, but I wasn't violent to them. I'd have got a slap, but no, they all denied it. I asked Michael. He said, how would I fucking put it on there? I'm sharing the cell with you. So I rubbed it off the board. We went into the kitchen. We was doing the evening meal. So I was making some bread rolls again. I love making these bread rolls, you know. The old swinging of the hands like that, proper baker. And then we'd take the trays out to the washroom. That's once they've been used. So I was carrying some trays out to the washroom where a lad would be on wash up all the time. And when I got out there, I got a smack in the back of the head by something and fell to the floor. While on the floor, I could just feel people kicking me left, right and centre. So I covered my face up. In pain, yeah. I was getting some right fucking bad boots. And then it stopped, the booting stopped, and I could feel the blood from my head. My mouth was bleeding. I could hardly see out of one eye. And I looked up and Michael was standing there with some bloke. Now that bloke, I believe, could be that Kevin. Okay, I'm not sure. But I think Kevin was in the kitchen. The reason why I'm going to say that is, I'll tell you in a bit. So the bloke was standing there and he kept saying to Michael, fucking kick him. Then he's grassed you, kick him. And Michael did kick me and he kicked me fucking hard. Then they walked off. Then the PO, which officer, he was the head chef, walked in and turned around, leant down and said to me, if anyone asks, you fucking slipped. So he knew what was going down. He knew what was happening. So that was it. I got up, I was taken to Chelmsford Hospital where I had stitches in my head. I had some x-rays on my spine and on my head. The reason I had x-rays because I ended up with having epileptic fits through the kicking, they believe. So I was in Chelmsford Hospital. I had stitches. I was seen to after the x-rays and I was taken back to the vehicle, which was a taxi at the time. We got in the taxi, I was handcuffed, and I was taken to Norwich Hospital Prison. Not back to Chelmsford. I was taken to Norwich Prison Hospital, where I spent 3 weeks in hospital there, where they was monitoring me for these fits. Okay. While I was in there was a lad in there, someone might remember. He used to cut his stomach and pull his part of his innards out. He was a bit fucking doolally. I don't know why. Then I was in front of the governor. I had to make a statement what happened. So I made a statement telling that I was giving a good hiding. The governor turned around and said, if you sign this statement saying you slipped, we will move you to an open prison. So the truth is, I didn't want to be in a closed prison because I didn't feel safe in a closed prison. In an open, somewhere where no one know me, I felt a bit safe. So I signed a form saying I slipped in the kitchen. And I went to Hollesley Bay, okay, in open prison. When I got there, I was inducted. I was put onto the wing, the building, what they call it, you know what I mean. And I got a job on the farm, milking the cows. So there's a couple of blocks there, one down this end and one that end, and we used to play football weekends. So anyway, I got a job on the farm. I didn't have a driving licence, so I could not drive the tractors. So the job on the farm, milking the cows early, good money. And one day while walking around the fields, the football pitch and that, I bumped into one of Craig's dear friends, Dave Stratton. He was finishing off his 7 years term. I think he had about 2.5 years left, and he got allocated to an open prison. I don't know how he got allocated to an open prison because he was in for robbing that bloke and tying him up. So I got no idea how he got allocated there. Well, anyway, Dave Stratton see me. He was due to have a home leave. I think it was home leave. He went home anyway, or someone passed away. I think it was his dad that passed away, to be honest with you. That's why he went home for a couple of days. Well, anyway, Stratton went home. He come back. He apparently see Craig, told Craig where I was, and Craig gave me Stratton some puff to give to me to sell in prison to make a few quid for myself. So I thought everything was all right. Yeah. I think Stratton took a big bulk of it without fucking giving me the full rent, but I'm not bothered about that. So I was selling bits for £10 off tuck shop, you know, your monthly spends. So I made it, say about £60-70. It was nothing fucking big. Then Craig come to see me in prison. He didn't have a go at me. He wasn't, you know, how are you, Bri? Fucking nice to see you, all this sort of stuff. He just turned around and said, you should have done more for your brother. You know, Michael's still in Chelmsford, he's struggling. But I couldn't do no more than what I did without me turning around and saying, yeah, I take the blame for the cannabis. All right. So when Craig went, he got in his car and he done a little wheel spin on the green and fucking drove off. And went. And I got pulled in by the governor because it was my visit. So I was a bit worried because after that, and with Stratton coming back, and after I promised Stratton that I wouldn't mention why I was in prison for, you know, what people knew he was in for robbery, but what he actually did, I wouldn't mention it. But you could see there was a bit of atmosphere on my block. People not really talking to me where they was talking to me before. You know, spending a lot of time on my own. Even when I went up the farm, the lads was all talk to me but distant. So I knew something was wrong. So I went back onto the wing, onto the block after work, and I see my SO, senior officer, and I told him I wanted out of this prison, and he said it couldn't be done. It doesn't work that way. So I told him I wanted down the block, and then the next day I was put down the block. I spent 3 months down the block, and I see the governor more or less every day just to see how you are and that lot, you know. And they kept asking me why I'm down the block, and I told them I fear for my life. And after 3 months down the block, I was allocated to Stamford Hill Prison. So I went to 2 open prisons. where I finish off the rest of my time. But yeah, I got a bad good hiding in Chelmsford prison. I don't know if I don't tell the story, this fucking Kevin's going to come out with it. So Kevin, yes, and it's probably one of you. The reason why I say this, because two prisoners made a statement to the governor saying I slept in the kitchen, and by doing that they got allocated to open prisons. So, and I bet Kevin was one of them. Anyway, that's the thing. Another thing someone's asked me, how did Craig get the scar under his eye? That's a good little look, that is. That's an old one. I'll tell you, yes, he didn't get bottled, or someone asked me. He got in a fight, but the fight was with a fox. So I'll tell you that story after Christmas. Craig and the fox that attacked him. And then I'll tell you about New Year, about a robbery that went wrong with Stratton and Craig at the post office at Long Riding. So yeah. But anyway, I've come in, I've answered a few questions people want me to answer, and I've told the truth about Chelmsford. I feel ashamed. And I don't care what people call me. To me, it's sticks and stones. Yes, I did make the phone calls. Yes, I grasped Craig up. No, I swear on my son's life and my wife's life, I didn't grasp Michael up. All right, but the people think I did. Let him get on with it. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm going to wish everyone a happy Christmas and hope they enjoy themselves tomorrow. You know, with their meal, the drink, especially to see the kids open the presents. And I hope everyone has a happy New Year. And I'll be back on next week. Take care, everyone. And thanks for being my friends and standing by me. All my subscribers and everything like that. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Have a nice time.